Several big announcements are expected today in the political world. Dr. Silas Lee is joining us now as we look ahead to local and national updates from members of the GOP. Dr. Lee, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Sure, good morning.
All right, and let's start locally. Of course, the big news yesterday that newly re-elected Senator Sen Kennedy has said that he is considering a possible run for governor. Were you surprised by that news?
Not really. He has been hinting at that. Certainly what's different now is the fact that during the Senate race, he did not have any opposition or anyone contesting him from the Republican Party. But right now we're looking at could turn out to be a very crowded field for the statewide election of the next governor. And what I think Kennedy is doing, he wants to keep his foot on the gas pedal. Just spent millions of dollars to get reelected, enhanced and elevated his profile. So he wants to see if he can transfer that over to maintaining that lead, that image, and that support on the governor's race.
And of course, we've learned that Democrats will maintain control of the Senate. How much do you think that played into his decision?
It probably plays a pretty significant role. Think about it. When you are in the Senate, you happen to be one of 100. When you are the governor of the state, certainly you are the CEO for that state, more visibility naturally. So he doesn't have to deal with some of the politics in terms of negotiating policies and other budgets and other aspects of governing when you have to deal with 100. And plus he knows state legislature. So I'm quite sure he said, well, look, this could be a good swan song for my political career, and I've served. Let me see if I can capitalize on that support in terms of staving off any type of opposition from other Republicans who might be considering. He does have a significant amount of money in his war chest. So I'm quite sure that is going to be in the back of the minds of some contributors who are looking at where to put their investment for the next gubernatorial candidate.
Sure, and of course the only person who's announced they're running so far is Attorney General Jeff Landry, which makes things interesting because the state party has already endorsed him.
That is very interesting. I heard in the previous segment you talked about a civil war in terms of the Republican Party, but we also have something of people questioning or dissenting in terms of the state Republican Party. Landry does have the endorsement, and Kennedy said he's going to look at it. Certainly, they both have statewide appeal and name recognition, but it's interesting in the fact that one person does have the endorsement with the state party, the other one does not yet, and yet you still have some other Republicans looking at running statewide also. So it's going to be interesting as to how this all shakes out. Billy Nunn is a name. Sharon Hewitt's name has popped up. John Schroeder. So this is like preseason before the actual game starts.
All right, let's jump to national now. Of course, President Trump is expected to speak this evening and expected to announce that he will be running for president again in 2024, the same day that his former Vice President Mike Pence will be releasing his memoir criticizing the president some. We actually have some sound from him before I get your response to that.
It angered me. But I turned to my daughter, who was standing nearby, and I said, it doesn't take courage to break the law. It takes courage to uphold the law. I mean, the president's words were reckless. It was clear he decided to be part of the problem.
And of course, that's the former vice president talking about President Trump's role or possible role in the January 6 riots. What do you see playing out in this possible announcement today?
Well, naturally, what Trump will do is focus on why people should elect him. He is still negotiating and discussing what happened in 2020. And voters are focused on the future, on the present. But he's still trying to litigate 2020 and talk about the election, in his opinion, was stolen, even though there was never any proof of that. So it keeps the attention on him. National Republicans are very nervous. We still have a contest in Georgia. Although Democrats will control the Senate, they would like to have that seat. But what this does do is take away attention from the Georgia race and from other Republicans and diverts attention to Trump in 2020, something that they do not want to continue to focus on. They would like to focus on the record of Joe Biden, the record of the Democrats and policies, not Donald Trump. And that is a challenge they have right now.
Sure, especially since so many Trump-endorsed candidates didn't do well in the midterms. All right, we'll be watching all of this. Dr. Lee, thank you so much for joining us.